Okay, hello, hello. We are unfortunately missing Magician today. Something about the French never being there when it matters.
Ugh,
Yeah,
classic.
Yep.
Just like them.
Yep, that sounds about right. The French defense is the infamous one.
That's what you'll get with us. You'll get us shit on every country that isn't ours.
Yeah.
So we can slag off the French now that Magician's not here.
You know, normally we would say he is not here to defend himself when we trash talk him. But then I'm like, but he would do the French defense where he just gives up. So it doesn't matter.
Poor bloke. No, big respect to the French. We love the French people. Great wine.
And speaking of French, I got access to VO3. Have you caught the VO3 news?
I've not. VO3, the AI?
Yep, the AI.
I've seen it. Yeah, I have not partaken yet or really looked that much into it.
You couldn't have because it is so you gotta pay like $300 per month to actually use it.
Yeah, fuck that.
And it's only for US citizens.
Really? I didn't know that bit.
Yep.
I'm not allowed to see the videos.
Yep, they only allow US to use it.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I think they'll probably expand later on, but at the moment it's just US. Now, fortunately for me, as of like a few days ago,
Mon ami,
I actually got.
Mon ami,
okay,
Posé Studios, même factory on Sony Homes coming. Sacré bleu.
Stay close, mes chers. Frontier's getting wild.
That was me using VO3 to recreate Viscose. Yep. Yeah, as I was saying, unfortunately for me, my AI generator actually made a deal with VO3. So now I can use 2,500 credits to generate this.
That's not bad. That's pretty good going.
Yeah, it's like converted into dollars, it would be, depending on your plan, between $3 to $4 per each generation. Yeah, it's a bit on the expensive side, but it's really cool.
I can get behind this. I don't mind it. I've been seeing all the videos. It was like, the ones where it's just stupid shit. It was just like there was one in Bethlehem where it's like just after Jesus rose, and it was like doing street interviews. It was like, what have you thought of the past 2 days? And it was just a Roman guard going, well, I am shitting myself. So he was like, oh no, it's pretty good.
And so I can generate with my plan. I get like for $12, I get 8,500 credits. So I can generate it 3 times per month.
See, that's not that's good. That's good going. All right.
Yeah, I could get more, but yeah, that's enough for now. Especially because I don't always use all of it. So now I have like 20K of them, so I could generate 8 of them.
I just want to say was like AI may be super smart, but it still can't pour a correct beer. So
Oh yeah,
take that how you will.
Look at this again. Pay attention to the glass he's holding in his left hand.
Okay.
Mon ami, Posé Studios, même factory on Sony Homes.
Do you see it?
Mon ami, Posé Studios, même factory on Sony Homes coming. Sacré bleu.
Stay close, mes chers. Frontier's getting wild.
Yep, it just disappeared. But did you notice the other detail about what happened? It was a cylindrical glass. It transformed into more of a triangular glass and then disappeared.
He's just a magician. This is the kind of talent.
Posé Studios, même factory.
Yeah, so
Mon ami, Posé Studios, même factory.
Yep, it was like, this kind of, then transformed into this kind of glass.
Was this the picture you sent them as like a?
No, with VO3 you don't have character reference, so you cannot use any seed. So
okay.
You just give text, and it just does everything based on text.
Okay.
So yeah, I can control the character reference normally, but not with VO3, or at least not yet. It doesn't allow that. I don't know actually how it works in other engines. I believe that you can use seed, but like if I would use Grok, I actually don't know how I would even provide the seed for that. Don't know yet, but yeah, I can use this thing a lot, especially because since we are here anyway, we're about to get funded. I'm not gonna say the name of it, but we're about to get funded, and it will be a decent amount by a
And it'll be
blockchain.
by you at home. So all you need to do is send us your credit card information, put it in the comments right now, and we can make more VO3 videos just for you.
Speaking of comments, I'll put this here in case I miss it again. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, and but also we are about to get funded again by AWS. But yeah, that's the thing that we've had going for a long time by now.
Woo.
And yeah, we're gonna get funded again to use the cloud services because, fun fact, AI costs a lot of credits for
A lot of
platforms.
A lot of Wonga, yeah.
Yeah, but it's actually quite ridiculous. Like our last month bill was $1,500 or something. Yeah, and it's for the marketplace. And if we are to move to another marketplace, it would be like that again. And depending on the marketplace activity, it can go higher or lower.
Anyways, what news have you got prepared for us, by the way?
Yeah. So today,
What's this?
the deal with China. Our deal with China is done, subject to final approval with President Xi and me. Full magnets and any necessary rare earths will be supplied upfront by China. Likewise, we will provide to China what was agreed to, including Chinese students use. That's not even how Trump works. Including how Chinese students use in our colleges and universities, which has always been good with me. It's always been good.
I love how he had to clarify. He was like, "That's always been fine. That's always been okay with me."
Fine. I never said anything about disallowing Chinese students to come into the US. I love Chinese students. I love China. Don't get me wrong. China is great. We're getting a total of 55% tariffs. China is getting 10%. Relationship is excellent. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And by the way, it is a bit of a clarification because earlier his administration was saying we're not going to allow Chinese students to come to the US.
Yeah.
Like a few months ago. So yeah, that's a necessary comment that he puts there. And just as a little reminder of how Trump's relationship been with China so far, even before China became like a global quote-unquote threat to the US because of both economy as well as policy matter, land type of matter, Trump has been ragging on China for a long time. That they even made this post like 9 years ago.
Let's say China.
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 China. China.
China. You go over to China. 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 China.
China.
China. China. China.
You take China.
China. China. I love them. China. 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 I have to have my China. China. China because China. 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 China.
China. China. China. China.
China.
China.
China. China.
China. China. China now. China. China. You know, China.
I know China very well. China. 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 China.
China, China, China.
Northwest Wisconsin, where I'm from.
It's China to me. China, 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 China. You want to buy from China? That's great. Buy from China. Buy toys from China. China in particular. China. China. I have people that I know in China. China. China.
China.
Oh my God,
China.
it's still going.
China.
China.
China. China. China.
Yeah, that's like
How
only
long
1
is
minute.
it? 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Yeah, out of 3. But yeah,
And
we
is
can
this
stop here.
all? This is.
Yeah,
When
this
was
is
this? Was this?
this is from
was-
9 years ago. So
was this-
when he started going for his first balloting or what's it called.
Just obsessed with them.
Yeah, he's been ragging on China for a long time,
Mm.
like long before the world recognized China as a superpower, as a quote unquote threat to US. So yeah, it's because of that I found it a bit funny that like I was expecting him to make some kind of deal with Ukraine, but with China, that's the one that I did not expect.
Well, I mean, there's the what was it, the taco thing? Trump always chickens out, so you know. Plus, China is just economically just a massive powerhouse.
Yeah, and to
So,
put in
so much.
perspective, there's always also the deal with Taiwan, because there's a thing where China says Taiwan is by rights part of China, so we are taking ownership of this. Taiwan says no, we're not, and US is relying on Taiwan to produce microchips, because Taiwan is like the only place that can actually do it in such a big quantity. So like the entire Silicon Valley depends on it. So yeah, it's a very delicate situation, especially because China itself is quite in hot water because of its infrastructure crisis, which has been its booming thing for a long time. And also, President Xi is getting old. So, you know, there are many variables coming together that could lead to a all-out conflict. So, yeah, stuff like that. But yeah, to go into more details. First, full magnets. Do you know what that means?
Full.
He says full magnets.
Like full. I guess very attracted. They're both very attracted to the steel. Is the idea?
Little do you know, he means it quite literally.
Oh,
and any necessary rare earths. Ever heard of rare earths?
I've never heard of rare earths.
Yeah,
No.
I didn't before reading this.
Honestly, such a muppet, man.
Yeah, Trump and Xi Jinping discussed this via phone on June 5, kickstart negotiations that deal with a framework focusing on rare earths and critical minerals, but broader deals to be determined. U.S. officials hint at more comprehensive deals later, and yeah, that's this kind of thing. So, rare earths angle. Hold on. First, I need to. What are rare earths? Rather, rare earth elements. That's the full name. They are a group of 17 metallic elements in the periodic table, known for their unique magnetic, luminescent, and electrical properties. They include, well, those. Not too important what they are, but yeah, it's those they are found in Earth, everywhere pretty much. Why rare earth? The term rare is a bit of a misnomer. So like it's not rare earth per se, it's a rare earth element, but it got shortened into rare earths. These elements are relatively abundant in the Earth's crust, but they are rarely found in concentrated, economically viable deposits. So in China, they have a lot of them as opposed to US, where they have only an average amount of them. They are dispersed and often mixed with radioactive or toxic materials, making extraction challenging and costly. Maybe the costly part is the important part, because as we all know, China and other Asian countries, they have cheap labor that are also willing to risk their lives to make some money. China controls 80% of global rare earth production. Yeah, that's a fun fact. I didn't know what rare earth even meant before that. Critical for tech and defense. The US pushing for access, a strategic move to reduce dependency. And then they are critical for defense technologies like F-35 jets, missiles, so the army, pretty much. Economic competitiveness. Those elements power tech industries, smartphones, electric vehicles, renewables, and so on, where the US aims to lead, securing those, reduces dependency on. Now that I'm reading this, aren't you buying them from China? So what's with the reducing dependency? I'm probably missing something. But yeah, boosts domestic manufacturing, geopolitical leverage, control over rare earths, strengthen US and trade negotiations with China. Yeah, I think I'm missing something here. But yeah, that's pretty much the news on that. Other than that, that part about Chinese students being allowed to come into the US and study, because the whole Trump thing that deport the illegal immigrants, put insane tariffs. So yeah, the question of whether people would be allowed to come and study, well, I don't think it was that probable that they would actually disallow students to come, because there's like no downside to actually doing this. It's whether to allow them to stay after they finish studying. But there's really no downside to let them come and study. Although I know England has its own policy on that. It's like, because there are so many Asians who are good at studying, they like charge them more to enter.
Yeah. I mean, there's every university, there's loads of Asian students. Especially in Manchester. There's a massive community of them in Manchester. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. But yeah, I think that the universities can make a lot of money. The universities get more money from the government if they have international students. Or an international student is worth more than a home student to universities, so they get given more funding.
On top of international students paying more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's like they don't only pay to the university; they also pay like for living expenses.
Yeah, so that they'll be getting an international student loan, which is they have to then obviously pay back to the university and the government as well. So it's a lot of money to be made.
Yep. Yeah. Of course, the problem is then the local population gets displaced from universities, especially because if you use the British system of education where they put this, I forgot what it's called, where your grade depends on how everyone else performs.
There grade boundaries.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
If other people, so if there are more people from China who are very smart, it means that your grade is screwed.
That's quite true, yeah.
And I don't know if it's also a good system if they are gonna study, get a good grade, get all the good grades, and then leave. And now you end up with a population who are all with bad grade in comparison.
To be fair, because I think there's a rule where it's like you can't have more international students, because there were universities, like when they first introduced it, universities were like, we're just going to take as many international students as is humanly possible. So now there's like a rule where it's like you can't have more than this percentage or something, because it was just unfair.
Although I think the better way would be to just increase the price further if you want to decrease their numbers.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, universities get so much money here, which obviously they deserve, but at the same time, it's just like, spread it out, guys. Come on, get loads.
Yeah. Next news: Amazon and Walmart explore launching their own stable coins. Yeah, that's fun. I don't know about Walmart because, well, we don't have Walmart in Europe, but at least in Amazon, you can already buy credits in Amazon. I do it because I have this thing where I use the card to pay for something and then I block it. And then next time I want to use it, I unblock it again, use it and block again, because there are too many services that are impossible to unsubscribe from. So I had to just block the card to stop the headache, because they're not allowing me to unsubscribe, and I don't know how to cancel it. So I open this window just to pay and then block it again. So for Amazon, I just load 100 euros for the future, and then block it again, and just refill it again when I need it. So yeah, there's already this system in Amazon. There's gift cards, stuff like that. But I guess they would use it on chain. And from what I'm seeing, it's not even that it's useful to have a Web3 stablecoin. It's more that it doesn't have as many pain points as the traditional system. Stablecoin regulation could unlock massive savings for merchants, Those digital currencies allow companies to circumvent traditional payment rails, which cost billions annually in fees. Yeah, did you know they actually take, depending on which provider you're using, they actually take a percentage
Really?
of what's going through them. Yep.
Jesus.
Well, you probably have never used any payments in like any amateur websites, but like Stripe is the most popular one, and it takes like what 3% every time you make a purchase through them, because they're like the most popular and the easiest to use. So whenever people use them, yeah. If you are like a good engineer, like a senior engineer, you would know how to do it. But if you're like a junior, then you would just use Stripe, because looking for other methods, it's quite time consuming.
Very difficult, it sounds, yeah.
The interchange fees merchants pay when customers use cards represent a significant expense that stablecoins could eliminate. So yeah, it would just be cheaper to use stablecoins. Current payment systems also create settlement delays. So you know this thing where you pay for some kind of service, and in your bank app it says this amount is stuck there, so that you are just waiting for it to settle. And yeah, I guess it would depend on which bank app you're using, but as a matter of fact, even if you don't see it in your bank app, what happens is they create a request and they kind of like confirm on both ends, but it takes a lot of time for the money to actually go from one bank to the other. And that's what I'm guessing is they mean by settlement delays, because yeah, banking is its own complicated thing that I'm not really familiar with. Stablecoins offer quicker processing, particularly valuable for merchants with international suppliers. I can imagine. Despite potential benefits, skepticism remains about stablecoin security and also regulatory implications. Yeah, hopefully the regulatory compliances are going to become much easier as Trump's administration goes on. And Trump's is not even that friendly to crypto, more like he's just neutral. So at least SEC is not going to be up everyone's ass as much as before.
I was going to say, that's nice.
Amazon and Walmart stablecoin initiative faces questions about digital asset involvement at the time of writing. So yeah, it's every time I see some big Amazon news, it usually then I don't hear about it any further. It's like I don't know if you've heard about it. There's like this supermarket by Amazon where you just walk in, you take something, and you walk out. But because when you walk out, it actually detects what you have in your bag, and it automatically charges you. So like there's no cashier.
Yeah, I've heard it. I've heard of this.
It's a very old story, and apparently it was implemented in some city in US. And yeah, they just left it there. Nothing happened further.
Fair enough. Could you imagine everyone's just like, if it didn't work or it went down for like 5 minutes, everyone's just taking stuff out?
Well,
it just looks normal.
I don't know if you've been following lately US news, but that's what's been going on lately.
Well, I mean, I know that's been happening anyway, yeah, but still.
Yeah. It's becoming very hot in Spain.
It's getting really warm here as well, really humid.
Yeah, I went to the gym at like 1 o'clock, and it was just so hot. Like I'm only gonna go to the gym like late in the evening and early in the morning to avoid this heating problem, because that's pretty miserable.
That's fair.
Yeah, speaking of heating, or rather lack thereof,
South Africa hit by rare snowstorm in South Africa.
Yep, South Africa. All right. Those are real images. Africa is just snowed, covered in snow. A powerful winter cyclone brought heavy snow and flash floods to South Africa's eastern Cape. It's like a popular Russian song. It roughly translates to "If there were no winter," because winter is it's a pretty iconic Russian feature, because it's so cold there. probably only rivaled by like Finland,
Mm-hmm.
maybe Sweden, although there was a war once between Russia and Sweden, like very long ago,
Mm-hmm.
and Sweden actually, the Swedes actually got surprised by how much colder it's there in Russia compared to where they live. I guess it also probably depends because Sweden is like it's very vertical, so in the south of Sweden it's much warmer than the north of Sweden. And as I was saying, the song is called "If There Were No Winter." They say the song goes like, then would be no snow, we wouldn't be having any fun playing snowballs, we would be way too hot all year. So like it's like there's no fun if there's no winter, given that I remember there was one particular video, the guy takes like boiling water, he throws it from like the fourth floor, and it just becomes all snow by the time it reaches the floor. Yeah, it's like minus 40 something degrees Celsius. Well, that's more like Siberia. South of Russia is not as cold, but I mean, still very cold.
Siberia is like just uninhabitable, to be fair.
Well, a lot of people actually there, partially because people were sent there as punishment, and because a lot of people were sent there as punishment, it's actually quite a decent population there because they settled there. It's like and it's not just that, like, USSR was the kind of like, if you are smart and you're using it to rebel, you are being sent either to Kazakhstan or to Siberia. So yeah, Siberia has a lot of smart people now because all of them were sent there as punishment. Like if you are just a troublemaker, you would just be punished. But if you are someone who is smart enough to create a lot of trouble, then you would be sent to Siberia. Or at least that's what it was the case with Kazakhstan. I'm not quite too sure about Siberia, which is actually a funny story. In Kazakhstan, the literacy rate is higher than Russia. Partially because of that.
Yeah, probably. Well, that would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, they sent all the smart people to Kazakhstan.
Like Borat.
Yeah, well, that's not really how Kazakhstan is, but yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Where's this? That's the video. South Africa Season Cape. Like, who would have thought that Africa would be covered in snow? Imagine you are South African and you just suddenly see your entire country being covered in snow. Yeah, that's usually a Russian thing, that you just get up in the morning.
If you showed someone, because you can even see that's not like, look in the back, that's just sand again. So even if you went to South Africa or you showed someone this, it was like, where in the world do you think this is? I think one of the last places they're going to say is South Africa.
Yeah, it's usually a Russian thing that you just wake up and it's been heavy snow over the night. And you're gonna go to work. Problem is, your entire car is buried in snow. So get your shovel and start unsnowing your car, which is like an hour worth of work to actually do it. And not only that, if there's like a car park over there, you actually gotta find your car. And it's difficult to find your car when all the cars are being buried under the snow. It's like, I think this is where I left my car last night. Next news. Chinese man lives in cave to escape death, marriage, and modern life. Like, I feel like when he says marriage, that's like the focal point here. 35-year-old Min Hengkai left his taxi job, well, understandable, gave up urban life, and now lives in a cave in Sichuan. He grows his own food, avoids marriage. Well, if you're not in a city or in a town, there can be no marriage, right? Because there's no one to officiate it.
They're not going to find you.
Yeah, and there's nobody to enforce the marriage.
Yeah.
Like at most, marriage would be just a ceremony where you come to your animals and a few neighbors that live like a few 100 kilometers away, and they go like, "Hey, this is my wife now." That would be the extent of it. Well, maybe if you're religious, but I don't know how marriage works in Buddhism. As far as I'm aware, like Buddhism, do they even have marriage? Like, I think that's
yeah. I'm pretty sure most cultures have marriage.
I think it's like based on all of the religions based on the Old Testament. So Judaism, Christianity, Islam. But I haven't heard of. Well, I know that Shinto in Japan has marriage, but that probably looks very different for them. He calls it his cave a black hole, a symbol of peace and perspective. And he also says he shares his life with 40K followers online. That's from the show.
He's barely even hiding. He's just up there, just live streaming the whole thing.
But yeah, he's. I'm not sure about live streaming, although it would be a waste not to live stream. But yeah, now he's an influencer. I guess that's how he survives, by making money from social media.
Fair enough. I'd love to live in a cave and just hide from my wife, but I can't.
You cannot hide from your wife.
Yeah, one, because I don't have a wife, but also there's just no caves. You know, I'm jealous of this man. He seems to have got it all figured out.
Speaking of,
yeah. Oh yeah, I saw this.
Yeah, bathwater soap featuring Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney has been on the news a lot lately. Like, I only see it occasionally. For some reason, people are obsessed with her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Like, she looks to me like any other actress.
Mm-hmm.
It sells out for $8 and resells for $1,600. Yeah,
but I just feel like it's just not. It can't be her bathwater, can it?
Okay, so apparently it's a soap.
It
made
is
with water. Made with her bath water.
Well, that's the thing. It's Dr. Squatch, because she was in they call it Dr. Squatch, right? And it was they did an ad campaign and she was in it, and then they were like, fuck it. The water that was used in the bath that she was in the ad, they were like, yeah, we'll just make some soap out of it. And then everyone went nuts.
It's like, I bet they didn't even do that. They just they just drained the water and just made a regular old soap.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, it's just got to be normal soap.
Who would be able to tell the difference, you know?
Exactly.
And this whole like, did this start with Belle Delphine, or like did she invent it? Or was it before that?
I feel like it was the concept. Like, she actually sold it en masse. It was definitely the first time something like that went viral.
Yeah, maybe anime invented it before that.
Yeah.
Something. No, I've never seen any anime of that type. Definitely not. And yeah, people are selling it for that amount, $1,600.
What a return!
Imagine the profit.
I was going to say that was a phenomenal profit. I should have got in on that.
Yeah, I mean, imagine studying for several years to learn a skill when you can just resell some actresses' bathwater. And I wonder what they're even going to do with this. It's like, are they going to just like frame it somewhere and put it on the wall?
I don't know. They just keep it.
It's like, those old toys, like, around Bionicles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now they sell for like $100 plus. Well, because they don't make them anymore.
Yeah.
And they were so cheap back then. It's like, I remember there was a time when there was this, like the first generation of them. There was this ice guy with a shield. He was called Kopaka,
Mm-hmm.
and I really wanted that guy. Unfortunately, it was already sold out, and it was like the next collection already. And I was like, when I have my own money, I want to buy this guy because his shield looks cool, and he's like my favorite character from that saga. Unfortunately, even if I could spend like $300 on it, it's no longer being sold anywhere, even as a resale value. So, and I wonder if when people do buy them, do they just keep them boxed to resell them later?
Well, I guess so. Yeah, because it will probably come sealed, won't it? So you just don't open the seal.
Yeah, because like once you open the box, it loses its value.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and speaking of bathing, well, I guess what I have next.
I do not. What?
It's a weird Japanese thing.
Okay, let's have a look.
Japan opens a wine-filled spa. Yes, you can swim and sip on the wine. A spa in Japan is offering a wine-soaked escape. Literally, guests can bathe in a pool of real wine and even taste it on site.
Hell yeah!
I wonder what quality wine they are using there.
Probably the best. A wine. I'd love to do that. That looks sick.
Yeah. Would you drink this though?
No, I wouldn't drink
several
from
people
the
have been
bath.
there.
I wouldn't drink from the bath. Definitely shouldn't. Definitely not. Yeah.
Yeah, and as someone who never drank, like anytime anytime I put my nose near the alcohol, it actually makes me a little bit dizzy. Something about this smell. Like it's not a serious thing. It's just like this type of thing. I don't know. I don't know here if you get any reaction like this.
No.
No. No.
No.
Yeah, because it has like a very distinct smell. That's
I get what you mean. Yeah. Some. It depends. Like what we sniffing.
Just anything alcoholic. Like if there's alcohol, it has like this smell.
Yeah. Well, because it smells because it was like there's a vodka, sambuca, to get all different kinds of spirits have a different kind of smell, and then there's different smells to wine, and then beer has a generic smell. Really,
yeah, but it's more like anything alcoholic. It has the alcohol smell,
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, there was this one guy who offered me a drink, not telling me that it's alcoholic, and he knew that I don't drink. I put it near my lips. I'm like, whoa, this has alcohol. Because I can smell it.
Yeah.
And the video.
I found a wine spa in Japan. First, they pour wine all over you and you rub it in. I'm literally bathing in red wine.
Oh, so that's watered down red wine.
Don't recommend
do
sitting in there
that.
too long or you might get lost in the sauce.
Splish splash, I was taking a bath. Long about a...
So yeah. Well, wouldn't drink it, and I wonder how, you would have to replace the wine at some point, right?
Well, that's watered down wine, so they'll probably drain
probably.
the pool. But I don't know. It'd be very expensive, surely. Unless it's just unless they make it in-house, which then might not be that expensive.
Depending on how you produce wine, maybe it's just the leftovers that could not make it to production, although I don't know if that's a thing.
You can have just a weak or shite batch. Maybe it's just that.
Yeah, maybe... Hold on. Does it look... I mean, it's very transparent on his palms.
Yeah.
So it's probably watered down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure.
I wonder...
Red wine's not... You can't see through red wine. That makes sense. Like, you would... If he was in red wine, you wouldn't be able to see anything that's under that water. It's very transparent. It's not... Well, no, it's the opposite of transparent.
How likely do you think that it's a scam and they just added some colorant?
It'd just be some dye, yeah.
And people just delude themselves into thinking that they're drinking wine while swimming. Yeah, I can imagine the smell. Well, again, I go there with the smell.
Probably smells of wine. Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. And yeah, that's the late news for the day. Well, last news for the day.
I don't know why he drank it though. I think that's gross. That's really gross, especially swimming in it. Ugh.
Yeah, drinking the water you're swimming in.
Yeah, no, never a good idea.
Like even if you are the only one swimming there, I still wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't drink it. No.
Like I guess I was about to say it's like licking yourself, but people do that. So maybe it's not quite as equivalent, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to drink it.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't personally do that. Yeah.
Yeah. With that being said, got great news for next week. I might produce some content for next week because of our announcement with the new funding. And
Hell yeah. All right. See you next time.